Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, if you guys just want to make yourselves comfortable, I'll get started. So you guys, thank you all so much for coming today. My name is Zoe Bottger. I'm an organizer with a program called Energy Impact Illinois, and I'm here today to tell you about a federally funded program that can help you reduce your energy usage, but it also is going to help you make your home more comfortable, and it's actually going to boost the value of your home and help you give back to your community a little bit as well. So the general concept of what we're going to be talking about today are two simple upgrades that you can make to your home that, just because of how old our housing stock is in Chicago, they weren't around. Energy was really cheap until the late 70s, early 80s. So nobody cared about their energy usage. But then once that time kind of came around and there was the oil crisis and the price of energy skyrocketed, people started thinking about energy efficiency. Most people are pretty familiar with insulation. Obviously, if you go up in your attic, you sometimes will see like pink fluffy stuff, sometimes you'll see some rock wool. But the fact of the matter is, there was no city code for insulation until 1980. So the vast majority of homes, about 95% of homes in the Chicagoland area, they don't have enough insulation, or they have poorly installed insulation, or they just have no insulation. And when you have no insulation in your attic, that's like going outside in January without a jacket on. That's just not something most sane people would do. So the first component of what we're going to talk about is insulation. The second component is called air sealing. And air sealing really helps the insulation do its job. And together, the two of them are the most significant thing you can do to reduce your energy usage, and it's also the most bang for your buck thing that you can do. So what air sealing is all around your house there are little gaps and penetrations. And these gaps and penetrations are things like, the plumber came in and they drilled a 3-inch hole for a 2-inch pipe. All of that space around the pipe is a hole going outside to your house. And then if you think of your plumbing stack going vertically, that's a hole from your basement going all the way up through your attic. So all these little gaps and penetrations add up, and it's like having a window left open in your house year-round. Now, every house should have some window open, and there's a healthy size determined by the climate that you live in and the square footage that you live in for how big that window should be. So what we want to do is we want to tell you, this is where you should be, but this is how leaky you actually are, and then we want to help you fix it. So what our program, Energy Impact Illinois, was set up to do is to find homeowners, give you the tools to figure out what's going on in your homes in terms of energy usage, to give you guys qualified contractors to do the work. And then we have rebates from the Department of Energy to help you pay for the majority of it, which is pretty great. You paid for this funding already for your tax dollars, and we want to help you take advantage of the money that you've already spent. So, we'll get started. Energy Impact Illinois is an alliance of local governments and nonprofits and utility companies. Like I mentioned, we are funded by the Department of Energy. There's a stimulus grant called the Better Buildings Project, and that project aims at helping all of our buildings across the country reduce their energy usage. It's active in about a dozen states. We're facilitated by the Center for Neighborhood Technology, by their affiliate, the Center for Neighborhood Technology Energy. You may be familiar with CNT. They do the iGo cars. They have a pretty cool Sustainable Backyards program. They're a 35-year-old nonprofit that's set up in the Wicker Park area. We do also have a small portion of funding coming from utility companies. If you look at your ComEd or People's Gas bill, you'll see small tax for energy efficiency. Mine's usually about $1 every month. So all of that money is being collected and is being centralized and constantly redistributed into all sorts of different really cool energy efficiency programs. So we're going to help you take advantage of that tax money today. Essentially, our program is set up to be an advocate for you guys, the homeowner. We really are here to hold your hand throughout the whole process and to help you make your house a more comfortable place to live. All right, so who qualifies for our program? Homeowners of every income. There have been other programs in the past promoting air sealing and insulation, but those typically were for the lowest brackets of the income. If you're planning on winning the Powerball, planning on winning the lottery in the next couple of weeks, you can still go through with our program. We just want to help you reduce your energy usage by 15% or more, which is actually very easy to do in all these leaky old homes. Like I mentioned to you before, when they were built, they didn't have energy efficiency in mind, and doing air sealing work and doing insulation work is It's going to be simple to do, it's not invasive, and it really gives you the biggest bang for your buck in terms of energy usage. We can also help you if you want to replace your boiler or your HVAC system. There's some money available for that through the utility companies. And so I will explain a little bit later about what we do during an energy assessment, what they can tell you if your appliances are running efficiently, and if you need to swap them out. And if you do, we can point you in the right direction to help you pay for that. So what qualifies for our programs? Your traditional, typical single-family home. We can also work with people that own 2 to 4 unit apartment buildings and people that own townhomes, but there's some restrictions to the townhomes. Okay. So what we offer. I mentioned that we are a central hub. There are 20 organizers, myself included, in the Chicagoland area, and we work with local electives, we work with civic groups, we work with all sorts of neighborhood communities to really educate people on, why is this air sealing and insulation the most important thing you can do, and then what can you do to make your house more energy efficient. We have a BPI certified workforce, which is a national level of certification from the Building Performance Institute. And so instead of, just having somebody who's throwing up insulation in your house, these guys actually look at the whole home as a system. So instead of attacking the symptom, they can attack the problem and they can give you real permanent solutions. So what our program offers, we want to help everybody get an energy assessment so that we can show you what's going on in your house in terms of energy usage. If you were just to go to any contractor in the Yellow Pages, they would charge you somewhere between $400 and $800 for the type of energy assessment that's offered through our program. But through our program, we can offer you a $99 energy assessment. We can also, there's a way to get a free energy assessment. We can talk a little bit about that later. So what the energy assessment does is one of the contractors from our program comes to your house. They will, check for the insulation. They'll measure how leaky your house is versus how leaky it should be. They'll check the combustion levels of your appliances. And they'll also do some health and safety testing. That's pretty great as well. And a lot of the health and safety testing that they do, this is stuff that's better to know about now than it would be, if it were to come up during a home closing. There have been situations where, they found some asbestos that the homeowner didn't know about, and they were able to take care of it in a way that was much cheaper than it could have been later down the line, and much safer as well. So it's a really great piece of home maintenance to have an energy assessment done on your home. So after the contractor does the energy assessment, they will send you the audit report. And that audit report, they're really going to help you prioritize the biggest, most important things you can do to improve your energy usage. So I'm going to ask you guys a question right now. Can you tell me where the first place is that you lose the most energy out of your house? Do you have any guesses? Yes, but some other guesses as well. A lot of times people think, it's my furnace. A lot of people think, I've got these leaky windows. But the fact of the matter is, when you lose energy from your home, only about 9 or 10% is through the windows, only about 20% is through the walls, but you were spot on. 70% of it is vertically. And so, just like heat rises, you lose the most energy out of your head, it's the same thing with your house, the heat rises. And so what you want to do is create a thermal barrier and really keep that heat that you're paying for in your house. And in the summer, it works the exact same way. You should really think of insulation like a thermos. And so that thermos, or that cooler, you can put your hot soup in there and it'll stay warm, or you can put your iced tea in there and it'll stay cool. And that's really what insulation does, is it keeps something the same temperature. So this works, yeah, exactly, iced tea. So it works just as well in winter as it does in the summer. So that's really why we want to prioritize the air sealing and insulation work, because that's going to be the most significant thing you can do, but it's also the most bang for your buck. Windows, say if you were to replace every single window in your home, you could pay tens of thousands of dollars. And because, or more, and because your energy reduction is only about 9 or 10%, it ends up being about a 25-year payback. If you were to insulate your walls, there's brick in there, there's plaster that you have to deal with, and really what happens with that is it ends up damaging the structure, unfortunately. And so that tends to be more expensive, and so that's like a 10 or 15-year payback. But the air sealing and insulation, it's not invasive. It's going to attack a bigger chunk of where your energy loss is, and it's very reasonably priced as well. So the goal is, it's typically anywhere between a 2 and 5 year payback period. So our program provides rebates to help you do the air sealing and insulation work. air sealing and insulation on average costs between $2,000 and $4,000. A good solid average number is about $2,500. So if you imagine that $2,500 number, our program is going to rebate you 70% of the cost of that upfront. We pay the contractors on their end, so you don't have to fill out any paperwork, you don't have to wait around for a check, any of that. So essentially the homeowner would get that bid on their energy assessment, they would see the rebate right next to it, and then they would just pay the difference if they were interested in having the work done. Also on the energy assessment, they'll tell you exactly how much energy you're losing in terms of the percentage. Like air sealing and insulation will cost $2,500, will reduce your energy usage by 20%, which is pretty fantastic. So the homeowner really, we set them up to make an informed decision about what's going to be best for their house, and then help you pay for it as well. We do also have loans through our program. We've partnered with local banks and credit unions. So if people are interested in taking a bigger, if they're taking a larger amount out to do some bigger projects regarding energy efficiency, it's a great time to do that. The way we have it set up is that we will write the homeowner a check for the interest for the first year, so it's like no interest for the first year for the homeowner, which is pretty great. So that can help you, give you a little bit more wiggle room, or it can help you tackle some bigger projects. All right, so what you need. On average, people who do the air sealing and insulation work save about $500 a year on their energy bills. And that's money that you save summer and winter every year for as long as you own your home. It's going to improve the comfort of your house. There was a woman who I was talking to, she lives over in Edgewater, and she pays a lot of money to heat her house every winter, and yet every January, or whenever it gets cold out, she wears a hat inside, and she wears gloves inside, and she sits on a heating pad. And that's just kind of silly. You shouldn't have to pay to heat your house and still wear winter clothes inside. My apartment is a good example of how uncomfortable things can get in the summer. I actually have gotten heat stroke twice in my apartment. I'm on the 3rd floor of a courtyard building in Uptown, and we have these 2 little air conditioning units for our 700 square foot apartment, and with those 2 going, costs about $200 every month over the summer, which is just ridiculous, and I'm absolutely miserable. It's very, very, very hot in there. But like I explained before, the air sealing and installation, that's going to fix that, both summer and winter. And the third thing about this, which is really cool, is that our program